You don't want to be saying mean, nasty things about other people, especially when they're not even true. You're just saying that to because your ego is bruised. When you say ugly words about other people, you physically look ugly. When you make those faces of like, oh, they didn't text me, or oh, he didn't. Your face literally looks so ugly when you say ugly things. And the person you're saying these ugly things to is going to see an ugly person reflected back because your insides will match your outsides. Hello and welcome to Dating Rehab with Anna Morgenstern. I've been on tons of podcasts over the last 8 years, sharing everything that I've learned from clients, from my own life, and I finally felt like it was time to put out my own content and start my own podcast. I'm going to share with you real client stories, clients that I think will be very relatable, that we can all learn a lot from. Current trends that I'm seeing in dating, where I think people are struggling and where we're seeing some success. And yeah, I'm just going to share whatever I have going on that week that I think will be really beneficial for you guys. Let's really start with the current state of dating. As a matchmaker for the last 8 years or so, we've really seen a whole new wave of dating apps like we've never seen before. It's been over a decade since we've had the Tinder, Bumble, Hinge of the world, which is very basic. You see a profile, you swipe left or right, you match, you chat, you go on a date. We have seen a new wave of these AI influenced dating apps, which how much was AI before? Of course, they were using AI in Tinder and Hinge and Bumble. But now everything is trying to be more AI focused, where there's this algorithm that's matching you, which was also matching you on the Tinder, Bumbles, and Hinges of the world. What's this added layer? It's supposed to be learning about who you're swiping right or left on, what are your preferences, and kind of giving you suggestions of how to start, conversations. And there's some new apps that are coming out that are, trying to offer date feedback, or if you need kind of that concierge element of kind of a coach to walk you through some of these issues that you're going through with dating. There's one that I'm involved with called Snug, which is launching soon, are basically starting out based on the principle that feedback is a gift. And none of us are perfect when it comes to dating. We've all misrepresented ourselves. We've all had misunderstandings. And the dating concierge there to really help you navigate some of those issues so you're not letting go of connections based on things that are not true. And helping you just kind of become the better version of yourself, a better dater. So that's what I'm hoping to see with this new wave of dating apps. Although from what I'm hearing, the Amadas, Sitches, Known, Keeper, all of those, same kind of issues arise. There's never going to be an app where there's all brand new people that you've never seen before. The pool of people has to come from somewhere. And if you're someone who's been open to dating apps in the past, you're going to be open to dating apps in the future. So yeah, that's why you're going to see a lot of the same people. The point of some of these apps, I think, is maybe people that you were saying no to before. Give them an opportunity. Say yes. If you had more information of why this person was a good match for you, would you be more open to meeting them? That's really, I think, the hypothesis behind these apps. And it's something that I've really seen in my matchmaking clients. There's people that I have spoken to that I thought were a great fit for a client. And the client was like, oh, I saw them on the app, or vice versa. And because you didn't have a lot of information, you just saw a couple of photos, that they work in finance and that they're this height and whatever. There wasn't enough for you to feel really compelled to meet them. And on the apps, as we know, we have a lot of preferences to kind of keep people out. It's a lot of gatekeeping rather than allowing more people to come in and, give an opportunity to. So that's what I'm saying, is that with matchmaking, more people are open than they are on the apps. And I think that's what these new dating apps are trying to tap into. Just because you have a preference of this height, this age, this location, doesn't necessarily mean that you're not open to someone outside of those things. And if there's a third party saying, hey, you guys are actually a really good fit, give this person a chance, we're hoping that you'll give them a chance and that you'll be more open. What else am I seeing? A lot of events. We have never seen more events this post-COVID world than we are right now. I am seeing events for every single interest, hobby, for activity, religious group than ever before. So it's a great time to really find a community. That's how we dated for hundreds and hundreds of years before the modern world. We dated within our religious community, our similar background. Before after that, it was through work connections, through friends. And with all the social media and dating apps, it's expanded our network almost too wide where we just can't make any decisions. And now I feel like it's back to wanting to find our specific communities, finding our people. So then a day you do want to be with someone that has similar interests as you or, wants to raise a family the same way as you, that you can understand from each other and grow with one another. That's really important for a long lasting relationship. So find anything that really speaks to you. Don't force a hobby if you don't like it. If you're not a runner, don't join a run club. Because if you're not looking forward to doing it, you're not going to do it. You want to find things that you're actually going to be excited to commit to and then actually commit to them. So if something like, playing chess is your thing, you can find clubs for that and find your people, your community. There's meetups and Facebook groups and Instagram groups, and just do some research. And when you're looking for a job, you are networking with everyone that you can think of that could help you get the kind of job that you want to get. Same thing with dating. Treat it the exact same way. Find people that can get you closer to the types of people that you want to meet in person. So many people that I speak to on the matchmaking side, they're energetic people. Just because someone has the right stats doesn't mean that they're going to actually be the right fit for them. But when you meet someone in person, you have that energy and you guys just have that banter and you're, feeding off one another. You don't really care as much if he's 5'8" or 5'10", right? It's really more about having that energy with one another. So put yourself in positions where you can meet your people in person and find someone that you have a good energy with. I know it's overwhelming because there's so many ways to meet people now. And a good way to think of it is having different tools in your toolbox. If you're so heavily reliant on just dating apps and you're having a bad experience on there, you're going to feel like dating overall sucks. It's tough. I don't like it. So you don't want to put too much emphasis on one tool. If you split it up with dating apps, events, community, friends, and, anything else that you enjoy doing. Like, if you're feeling brave and there's someone really cute at the gym, go say hi to them. Nothing bad will happen. They'll say hi back. Maybe they're interested in dating you, but if you make a new friend, it's a win. I think that's an important mind shift too, that you're not trying to get something from someone. You're really just trying to make friends, expand your social network, and who knows? And, anything can happen from there. And you want to put it out there that you're looking to meet someone. And I think the way you do it is really important too. You don't want to be harassing friends and coworkers and family members. You want to do it in a way that just feels happy and light and like you're just trying to meet some great new people. If you know anyone, awesome. I see a lot of people that will, especially with me, they'll text me again and again and again. Do you have anyone? Do you have anyone? Now listen, believe me, if I had someone for you, I will let you know. I don't mind people reaching out once a month just to kind of ping me and stay top of mind. That's totally fine. But you don't want to be annoying anyone. And I know some other people have told me their friends are just constantly asking them if they have someone for them to meet. Put it out there, but, do it in a way that's not annoying. Definitely want to talk about some clients that I've had this last week that have been top of mind, both male and female. One of my male clients, God, he is so stubborn. And I think a lot of us, as we've gotten older, we kind of get stuck in our ways a bit. We think our thinking is the right thinking. We make more assumptions. We're less open to other people's point of views, or maybe considering maybe we're wrong about something and being open to being, taught otherwise. So I have one client, there's someone that I really liked for him that he met through me. And they had a couple great dates and they had all these phone conversations, a lot of energy between them. And of course, they had a misunderstanding. And they both played emotional chicken where neither of them reached back out to each other. And they both ghosted one another. And it's been a month. And, he mentions her to me, but he will not reach out to her. He thinks that she should have sent something to him. She thinks he should have sent something to her. And they're just both being completely stubborn in the situation, and both people are losing because they could be a really great match for one another and could have had something really amazing. But because they're letting pride and ego take over, they are not experiencing this relationship. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to get through to him, but a lot of times you just have to get there on your own. And sometimes with the time, everything kind of gets revealed. And who knows, maybe I'll find a way to orchestrate them bumping into each other. That could work. Then I have another client. She is interesting because she like really knows what she's looking for, which is amazing. I always say that if you're really clear on who you're looking for and you're consistent with that, you will find it. And so she's been really clear, but then things have popped up where, oh, I don't like those hobbies. I don't like that he lives here. Or, yeah, I don't like that he has this educational background. I prefer this. Like little things are coming up that are inconsequential to having a long-term successful relationship. Things that we never talked about. So it's not right for, her to not meet these people. But at the end of the day, it's her matchmaking package. She can meet who she wants to meet. I never force clients to meet anyone they don't want to meet. It's not good energy for them to go on the date. And I also don't want to burn my network. I don't want them going on dates and the other person clearly doesn't want to be there. So one thing that I think is really important to learn from her story is when you have your list of qualities that you're looking for in a partner, which come from values and which come from like status, ego, lack. So things like having a certain educational background, I think it's totally fine to want someone who, values education and, that's because something you want to instill in your children. But because they went to this school versus that school could be a little bit less important. I could see like, you want them if they went to a good school, they value working really hard. And, if you also went to a good school, sure, there's some alignment there. I get that. But at the end of the day, it probably won't make you any more happy or less happy in a relationship if they went to an Ivy League school versus, one level down. And then when it comes to hobbies, I mean, my husband and I, we don't have the same hobbies and we're very happy together. He loves tennis and basketball. I love working out and, like, what else do I like to do? Eating. And it's okay. He can do his thing with his friends to play tennis. He has gotten me into the Knicks, and now I like love watching the Knicks, which I never thought would happen. You guys start influencing one another. If your hobbies are not exactly the same or not aligned, once you spend time together, you might enjoy some of the things that they do, and they might enjoy some things that you do. The only time I say when hobbies can play an important part of misalignment in a relationship is if the overall umbrella is misaligned. So for example, I love staying fit, being active. So the fact that he likes to play tennis and I like to go to the gym and do workout classes, the overall umbrella is the same, even though, it branches out in different areas. If he loves to stay active and I hate that, I don't like to move my body at all, that's misalignment because our overall umbrella isn't the same. But things like, he likes to, go swimming and be at the beach. I prefer the mountains. You're picking between two good things. You guys both like to travel and experience things. That's okay. Don't let these small things, keep you from meeting someone amazing. At the end of the day, it probably won't matter that much. Just think about the overall umbrella. If that's the same, like for example, I like classical music. He likes jam bands. Overall umbrella is that we enjoy music. Maybe I don't love going to all the Fish shows, but I go because it's to support him. And, now I've recognized some of the songs and don't tell him I said this, but I don't hate as much as I used to. And the other thing is I've noticed with clients, they'll go back and forth on if someone's a good match for so long, like weeks, sometimes months, that the match is no longer an option. So don't forget, like it takes two to tango. If someone comes, through your path that could be a good fit for you and you're just kind of like dragging your feet, planning the date, you're not really sure if you want to commit to them, they might not be available in a couple weeks. Like if they are high value and they have other options, they can meet someone else and not be an option for you at all anymore. So it's kind of good to strike while the iron's hot. And remember, it's just a date. You're not married at first sight. You're just there to collect data. and then, see what happens. And like, if you go into it thinking, I'm going to make a new friend, you literally cannot lose. And that's the other client story I want to tell you about. I have a client and I love him to death, but he really does get in his head about things. If someone doesn't text back right away, or if they have to reschedule a plan, he takes that really personally and he goes on the attack, saying things that are really ugly about the other person that are not cool. Like, you don't want to be saying mean, nasty things about other people, especially when they're not even true. You're just saying that to because your ego is bruised. When you say ugly words about other people, you are ugly. You physically look ugly when you make those faces of like, oh, they didn't text me, or oh, he didn't. Your face literally looks so ugly when you say ugly things. And the person you're saying these ugly things to is going to see an ugly person reflected back because your insides will match your outsides. So if you're feeling this like ugliness, nastiness towards someone, it will show on your face. And you don't want people out there, friends, family members, looking at you thinking like, oh, this person has some demons. Because it sucks to not have someone like you back. Sucks to have someone reschedule on you. It sucks for things not to go the way you had hoped. But it doesn't mean that they are a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're ugly or that they're fat or that they have no manners or they're rude or they're not nurturing. Making up stories about someone to kind of make you feel better about being rejected, that doesn't get anyone anywhere. So don't say anything ugly about anyone else. Try to find the good in every situation, every person you meet. I mean, there's definitely been dates I've gone on where I was expecting them to look a certain way. And I get there, I'm like, oh, these were very old photos. Like, I'll never forget. I think this must have been like early COVID because we're going sledding in Central Park. And I was waiting for this guy to come out of this building. And this bald guy comes up to me and I was like, who the hell is this guy? Because in the photos, he had a full head of hair. No, it was the same person. He just used very old photos. But you know what? Instead of being like, ugh, this guy sucks, he lied, I don't like bald, I don't like this, I don't like that. I was like, okay, listen, he has a sled, there's snow, we're in Central Park, I'm gonna have a great time. And I actually had a blast. And we were actually friendly for a while. Like, it wasn't romantic, and that's totally fine. But I made the most of it. I tried to have a good time. And I saw, like, okay, like he did use old photos, but he did plan a really fun date, and I had a blast. So if you can find positive moments in every interaction that you have, your energy is going to be better for it. I think back at so many clients and friends I've had bad date experiences, and the ones that were like, that could chalk it up to, that was a story, well, for the plot. They moved on quickly. It wasn't something that ruminated in them, and they were able to meet someone else, have a great date experience, move on with their lives. The ones that really took that energy, were like felt very offended that someone used old photos or someone didn't text back or any of that kind of stuff. They literally harbored those bad feelings, and it led to any other dates they had in the near future to not go well either. You don't want that. You don't want that bad energy to seep into someone that could be great for you just because you had a bad experience the week prior. So try to find good in all of it. I will never forget I think she was 7 at the time, my niece. We were at the Met and we're walking around looking at paintings, and she was saying like, oh, I don't like these paintings. They're ugly. I don't like it. Kind of having a fit. And I told her, I was like, okay, let's look at this painting. Can you find one thing that you like about it? And she's staring at it. She was like, well, I like that color. And I was like, okay, beautiful pink color. She liked that. I was like, okay, what about this painting? Can you find one thing that you like about this painting? She said, well, there's a dog. I love dogs. Great. The rest of the day, she went from being the most unpleasant of my 3 nieces to being the most fun to hang out with. She was pointing out all the different things she liked in different paintings and coming up with stories. And she was laughing and smiling. Her energy was just so great. It was so fun to be around her. And just that little shift of, instead of, I don't like anything, to finding one little thing you like completely changed my experience being around her and her experience. So be more like my niece, Natalie. She's a good one. And one more thing for you guys, for this episode, I really want to talk about attraction because this is what will change literally everything in your life. So many of us are driven by the body, right? Our body is instant gratification. We want that spark, that attraction, that chemistry. That does not come from the soul, that comes from the body. And as you know, how many first dates have you been on where it was super hot and heavy? And then after you got to know them, you kind of like them a little bit less. You found things that, actually weren't quite aligned. And the connection that you thought was so great wasn't as great as you thought it was. Or you thought it was amazing because you had this great chemistry on the first date. Maybe you guys even hooked up and then you don't hear from them again. Or it's not, they're just kind of seeing it as a situationship. They're not seeing you as a real potential for relationship. Doesn't feel very good because you led with your body. When you lead with your soul, you're looking for a soulmate. When you're leading with your body, you're looking for a body mate. To find a soulmate, you have to kind of ignore your body a little bit and see if the person that you're with makes you feel good. If the things that they're saying align with what you want. If being around them feels safe and comfortable and like you've known them forever, that's your soul feeling attraction. I have always said the first date you have with your potential partner should be when you're least attracted to them. If it's the most you've ever felt attracted, you have nowhere to go but down. But if it's the least, the more you get to know them, the more attracted you'll feel to them. The more you're learning about them, the more they get hotter in your eyes. One of the things I say that if you're on the street corner and you see like an average looking guy and he helps an elderly woman cross the street, carries her bag, and your soul's like, oh my gosh, what a good person. And your body will start feeling really attracted to him. And you're like, where did this come from? That's your soul being attracted to them. Or if you're at, a bar or restaurant, you see someone super, objectively hot and they're just kind of douchey. They're being kind of rude to the, servers. They're making, stories that are just inappropriate. And I don't know, you're just like, ugh, this guy is the worst. That's your soul being repelled by them. Your body's probably still attracted to them, but your soul is repelled. You want to listen to your soul versus your body. The body will catch up. Maybe sometimes you give someone a chance and that romantic part never gets there, and that's okay. But it's better to pursue those relationships than to constantly pursue the ones where your body's leading. Because your body's constantly leading, you're not listening to your soul. So that's why it's so important to have your list of things that you're looking for that are value-based, not from lack, power, status. You want the things that are, what's life going to be like with them? How do you feel around them? What kind of father or mother are they going to be? What's their relationship with their family? How do you want your relationship with their family to be? All these different things that are actually important for long-term compatibility, long-term success. Those are things you need to lead with. Because if you're always leading with your body, you're always going to have these 2-3 month relationships again and again and again. And you don't want that. Okay. To close out today's episode, keeping this one short and sweet, I'm going to have different male guests come on because I really love the male-female perspective. I want to hear if what I'm saying rings true to various male clients and friends that I have in my life. And I definitely wanted some questions from you guys. So please send them in. I want to answer those and get both of our perspectives on it. The kind of questions that we're looking for is anything around dating, relationships, attraction, connection. One of the things that I was always so curious about, and the reason I even got into the dating industry, is because I always wanted to know, why did he like her and not me? Why did this guy propose to this woman? What was it about her that made her wife material and maybe not me? I just wanted to know as much as I could about what I could do to elevate myself to get a guy to propose to me. I was 37 when I met my husband, and I dated the same way for a very long time. And it wasn't until I had some male clients and friends give me some really honest feedback where I realized, oh, I'm being perceived a certain way that maybe isn't how I want to be perceived. So we're going to answer all those questions. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode. It's going to be a weekly show. And come check out my Instagram at Anna Morgenstern for more information, or my website, annamorgenstern.com. If you're interested in working with me, you can just email me there and I'll reach out. Thanks.